Hi everyone, Joe here. Welcome back to our channel. Last time we spoke, I did how we launched our business and our pre-launch strategies, and then I asked you guys if you would like to see an influencer strategy video, and all of you said yes. And I know it's been 2 months since we came out with a video, but it just took a lot of information for us to research, and we really wanted to make sure we get as much helpful info as we can today. So without further ado, today's video is going to be all about our influencer strategy. This is for our candle business, Scent, but it can also be tailored towards any small business that you have. It's pretty much our small business influencer strategy video. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them down below and I'll try my best to answer them. Let's go. So what is influencer marketing? I know this word has been pushed around here and there these couple of years, but influencer marketing has definitely been one of the top strategies for businesses, small and big, over the past few years because it is simply really effective. Influencer marketing involves working with content creators among social media platforms to build up hype and coverage for your products. So for us, we've built a lot of coverage for our candles, simply working with influencers that we feel fit our brand. And if you don't know this, Michelle and I have a combined experience of about 8 years in this world. So I am a brand marketer. I've been a brand marketer ever since I left university, and we've been really fortunate enough to be content creators ourselves. We have a combined audience of almost 100,000, and we have been in this industry for about 8 years. So we know our stuff when it comes to influencer marketing. It's been really effective for brands to work with them because it lets you leverage off of their community and kind of, I guess, work collaboratively to build up your following as a brand. Another way to think about influence marketing, if you're a bit iffy, because I know people doubt the effectiveness of it, it's kind of the same thing as thinking of traditional marketing, such as placing your brand on a magazine or buying an advertisement, or simply just, I guess, putting an ad out there on social media. You're basically doing the same thing, except now you're working with other creators or faces of brands that have built up their own business and have built up their own image. Now you're trying to work together with them as best as possible to leverage off their audience. So what are we currently doing for Scent in terms of our influencer marketing? Well, we've worked with over 40 influencers around Australia to build up our following and to build up our brand awareness. And it's been really great so far. We've been fortunate to work with so many beautiful and amazing people, and some that we can now call our friends as well. And we haven't actually paid $1 in influence marketing. So all the coverage that we've been getting at the moment has been super organic, and we haven't yet paid for any, I guess, in-feed posts. So we don't have any experience in talking about how to get paid posts for influencers, but today's video will be about how we get as much bang for our $0 as possible. We have a great relationship with our influencers as well, so we don't just contact them and then send them products and never talk to them again. We actually take time to foster that relationship. Definitely want to tell you guys some tips today and show you our strategies and what has worked for us. Obviously, you have to tailor it towards your own business, but we're just going to give you some tips, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Now onto the actual influencer strategy itself. I've divided this part into 5 different pillars so it would be easier for you to understand, especially if you're a small business that's just starting out and you don't really know where to go with your influencer marketing. This is just a disclaimer that it may not work for you, but this is just the method that we feel most comfortable with. The very first step we take, and before we plan any of our influencer gifting, is we know our strategy. Knowing your strategy is knowing what you want to get out of it, what products you want to send, and what your end game is. There are 3 ways to work with influencers, and the first one is gifting, where you are basically giving them your product and not expecting anything out of it. The second way is contra, where you are basically exchanging your goods for their services. And then the third way is a paid collaboration, where you actually pay them and then they'll have deliverables for you. They'll either post for you on their stories as a reel or as a post. Before you even go on to researching influencers, you need to know what type of influencers you want to work with. I guess it's really a choice for you to see what type of brand image and brand awareness you want to communicate with your following. You need to set out a max budget, either monetary or number of influencers that you want to give to, just so you know that you can track your expenses at the end and you're not going over budget and not exceeding the amount of influencers that you plan to send out to. You should also set up an Excel spreadsheet just so you can plan everything out. On our Excel spreadsheet, we have all our influencer details, who we're reaching out to, if they've posted. I'll get more into those details later, but just have something set up so you can always refer back to it. Once you have a strategy in place, the next step is to research your influencers. What we like to do is we like to just have a browse on social media, whether it's our friends following these influencers or influencers that we personally like. We'll go on their brand and we'll see if they're a good fit for our candles. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, they just need to suit your brand. For example, if you are a restaurant and you want to target foodie bloggers, it's not on brand for you to target a sports person or an athlete, for example. So it's really knowing which person you want to target, because their community will like the same things and be interested in the same thing. How we like to do it as well when we go into researching our influencers is to find other brands that are very similar to us but in a different industry. So for example, we'll go to some fashion brands that we feel like we could work well with them, or their audience will fit us, and then we see what influencers they work with. We'll click onto those influencers, then we'll see who those influencers follow, and then we'll try and get influencers within the same community. That way you know that they'll definitely be on brand, on par with your aesthetic, and they'll be more likely to reply to your email and say yes to working together. Lastly, you need to find people that you can actually build a relationship with. This means people that are genuinely, or you think that will genuinely care about your products, and you need to follow these people. I've had so much experience where, for example, a brand will reach out to me and they say that they love me and they've been following me, and then I check and they know nothing about me. And as an influencer, it's really difficult to try and build a relationship with a brand when you know that they're just using you to get your community. It feels a lot better when it's coming from you as a small business and they know that you actually care about them and you want to work with them long time. When it comes to researching for influencers, a lot of people ask, well, how do I know it's the right one for me? It's not bad to do a little bit of auditing before you reach out to those influencers. What we like to see is a good ratio of likes and comments as well, just to make sure their community is engaging with them on a daily basis. And a tip that we have that you can use in your influencer research is a website called Social Blade. Social Blade audits social accounts and platforms for you so you can actually see numbers. What we like to do is we like to pop down the influencer's name on Social Blade and see their numbers, just to make sure that they're organic and not anything that's a little bit shady. And by shady, I mean instances where they do pay for the engagement, they're paying for followers, or they're paying for likes. If you scroll down on Social Blade, you get to see numbers month by month. And if there's a huge spike in the influencer's followers one month, and then you see it kind of averages down the next month, chances are they're buying their followers and there won't be a great match for you. Once you've found and researched all your influencers and you have a list of people you want to potentially work with, you need to write everything down in your Excel. We keep our Excel sheet really simple. Not sure if you can see here, but we have all the details of the influencer. We have their name, their handle, their email, their address, and all the details so that we can refer back to it later. And this is really important if you want to keep working with the influencer. You have to make sure you capture all their details, but it's also just good to refer to when your influencers do post, so you can track who posts, who doesn't, if they've said yes, if they've said no. After you have all the details written out on your Excel, the next step would be to contact your influencers. I think something that's worked really well for us is being super personable and approachable on our emails. We never use third person language, so we always talk in the tone of voice of us talking to these influencers and asking if they'd like to receive some of our products to showcase on their social media. So we are never too hard. I mean, you have to really think about it. Influencers get tens and dozens of emails a day. So you really need to stand out with a catchy email and with an email subject that is super close to your heart and talks about your product as if you would love them to try it because you're so passionate about it. Our emails always start off with a little introduction about our brand and ourselves, why we founded it, and what makes us so unique. And I will attach a little template that we use that you can also formulate and repurpose for your own brand. But we basically tell them a little bit about ourselves, why we founded the brand, what makes us so special, and why we think they would love it. We like to do some research on the influencer beforehand to see if anything has happened in their lives that we can shout out. For example, we can say congratulations on the new birth of your baby, etc. Just so they know that we are keeping up with their lives and it's just not a generic send out that you're sending to 50 influencers at a time. They know that the email is super personalized to them and that you actually care. We downloaded this super cool extension for Chrome where you get to actually track your emails to see if they've been opened. So we use that when we send out influencer emails just so we can see who's opened it, what they're clicking onto, and if they go back in a few days to check it, so we know that we can touch base with them in a few days. After we send out these emails, we typically wait about 1 week until we get all the responses, and then it's time to send the product. When it comes to sending out your influencer gifting, you have two choices of either just doing a normal send out or what we like to call a curated send out. A curated send out is when you put a little extra into those packages just so it's a little more special and a little bit more aesthetic when they open it. Now that we have more time and more budget and more planning, we decided to do more curated send outs. So for our summer collection, we did a super cute bouquet, which I will link somewhere here. We did a bouquet with a bottle of Prosecco alongside our candles in a cute little basket. And for our autumn collection, we launched a taro candle as well as an apple crumble candle, and we put it together with little pastries, a taro croissant, and an apple crumble dessert, and we put it in a little lunchbox to send out to our influencers. So they're what we called our curated send outs, where it's a little bit more special, a little bit more elevated, so that there are more chances of them reposting to their stories. If you have more budget and more time, we definitely do recommend curated send outs because they catch the eye a lot more, but there's no harm in doing just a generic send out, and we do that a lot as well. We split our influencers 50-50, so 50% will send a nice special creator send out, and then 50% will send just generic, and they get very similar results. So it doesn't matter if you don't have any budget, you can stick towards doing something very simple at the start. For our curated send outs, we keep them within the same state and within a drivable distance, and we will actually drive those send outs to the influencers ourselves. And we feel like this has worked so well for us because it gives us a chance to meet these influencers, to talk to them, build conversation, and then to also just build that longer term working relationship with them. Now this is optional as well, but if you want, you can also include a discount code for them to share to their followers. We've only done this once, so we can't really report on the success, but what we did was we created a unique 15% discount code for our influencers, and we attached it to every single card. Some of them shared it, some didn't, but it just has that option and it gives you that choice to have it there, and you can actually track it to see if that influencer has brought you any sales. Now that you have your influencer list, you've emailed them, they've replied, and you send it out, what do? Well, you just wait. And this is probably the hardest part, especially if you have tracking and you can see that you've delivered the parcel. You just have to wait for them to post and hope that they will post. For us, we've been really lucky and fortunate to have a lot of our influencers post about us on their stories and even some posts, but it is definitely not an expectation that we set on them, especially because the strategy that we're going for is purely gifting. You don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to demanding content from them. Unless it's contra where you're exchanging your goods for services or you've actually paid them, we really don't recommend harassing them and just giving them space and time to just post on their own accord. If you do end up doing a contra or a paid post, we highly recommend you to have an agreement beforehand that they do sign and that you sign, so that there's a binding contract. There have been so many examples on forums that we follow where brands speak to someone and they agree on a contra post and the influencer just doesn't post at all. And because they don't have an agreement, they don't really have a leg to stand on. So we really do hope that if you do exchange goods for services, make sure you have an agreement in place so that the influencer has to post. And that is pretty much it. Now all you have to do is wait for them to post, and once they do, you can repost it onto your stories, and also just check your website to see if they've brought you any traffic so you can measure any long-term collaborations that you want to do in the future. All the stories that we get from our influencers, we repost onto our own stories, and then some posts that they post onto their feed we use as well. And it's a really great way to repurpose content and recycle them for days where you don't have any content for your social media. Not only do they give you access to their community, but when they post, they're giving you content as well. Now that you've completed your first round of influencer gifting, it's time to rinse and repeat the whole process all over again. And we've learned a lot from our first influencer gifting to our current gifting. And this I cannot unfortunately give advice on because it is so personal to you and your brand and how you want to move forward with your strategy. But for us, we've definitely changed a lot in how we approach our influencers and what we gift and our budget in gifting. So it definitely will change as you go, whether you want to use them as future ambassadors or move towards paid posts in the future. You have a whole world of information in front of you, and now you can use it to your advantage. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope it was informative. I tend to ramble when there's a lot of information, but hopefully it was super easy to digest, and now you can take all the tips that you've learned today and utilize it in your own small business influencer strategy. Thank you guys so much for watching and being so patient with this video. I know it took so long, but if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel. We will be posting a lot more regularly after this, a lot more day into our lives, a lot more BTS, and hopefully we should have more videos coming out soon. If you do have any more questions, feel free to leave them down below and I will try my best to answer them. But until then, good luck and I'll see you soon. Bye.